Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you all are super amazing. Welcome to Swiflearn, India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10. Today I'm back with part 2 of negative numbers. If you haven't watched part 1, go and watch it at first and then come here. So before I dive into the topic, let me give you a brief description about Swiflearn. At Swiflearn, we provide 100% live and interactive classes at the comfort of your home and according to your convenient timings. Here in one single batch we have 6 students, never more than 6 students. If you want, you can also opt for one-to-one tuitions as well. We are going to provide you with a dedicated academic mentor team who is going to track your progress and is going to guide you throughout your journey. We covered the syllabus as per the school exam schedule, and then we handle custom requests as well. Coming to the key features of Swiflearn, at the end of every month, we are going to provide you with a detailed progress report, and we are also going to share it with your parents. We recognize the importance of practice, and therefore at Swiflearn, you can take unlimited practice tests. On every Sunday, you can also opt for the scholarship test of Swiflearn, which is the Swiflearn Academic Test Series SATs. And here we not only cover objective questions, but subjective questions as well for your school exam. So go to the Swiflearn website and book a free trial class today. For those who are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit on the bell icon so that you never miss any update from us. And as on this channel, we share a lot of knowledgeable videos related to various subjects and various topics. So it is going to be really helpful to you. Now, coming to the part 2 of negative numbers. Our objectives we will be learning about the subtraction of integers on number line. So in the previous part, I taught you about the addition of integers on number line. Here we will do subtraction of integers on number line. And also the absolute value of integers. Absolute value of integers, addition and subtraction of integer, properties of addition and subtraction, successor and predecessor of integers. So we have a lot of things to do today. Now let's do a brief revision. Write 4 negative integers greater than minus 20. So when you have the negative numbers, right? For example, let's suppose here we have minus 20. So which numbers will be greater than minus 20? The integers that are to the right, right? So we know that on the number line, always the integers present on the right hand side are always the greater integers. That means any value that is present towards the right of minus 20, that means minus 19, minus 18, minus 17, minus 16, minus 15, so on. All these values are the negative integers that are greater than minus 20, right? Even minus 1 up to minus 1. Minus 1 is also greater than minus 20. Okay, and another thing I told you, another way to look at it is if you have two negative numbers, how to understand which one is the greater one? Choose the number that has the smaller value. So out of 20 and 1 has the smaller value. Therefore, this minus 1 is going to be the greater integer. Okay. Now, write 4 integers that are less than minus 10. So, lesser numbers are always present towards the left, right? So, it will be all present towards the left hand side of minus 10 like this. So, minus 11, minus 12, minus 13, minus 14. All these will be the integers that are lesser than minus 10. Okay. Now, let's learn about subtraction. Very easy. I told you on the number line, whenever you see addition, you move towards right. And whenever you see subtraction, you move towards left, right? So, first it is 3. So, from 0, we are going to 3. We have moved right. Because only 3 means what? Only 3 means it is positive 3 only. And then we have to go minus 2. So, from 3, we will move towards the left because there is a minus sign and 2 steps left, right? So, 1 and then 2. So, we are stopping at this one. So, this is how we are getting the answer 3 minus 2 as 1. Okay. This is how we can represent it on the number line. Fine. Now, the subtraction of 2 negative integers. When you have 2 negative integers like minus 3 minus of minus 2, always remember that minus and minus, if it is present side by side, it gives us a plus. Okay. This one I have discussed in the previous part as well. So here we have a minus and minus. This will become plus. This will become minus 3 and minus will become plus, and this 2 will remain as it is. Okay. So we have minus 3 plus 2 over here. So first let's go to minus 3 because there is minus. From 0 we will move towards the left. 1, 2, 3 and we are reaching at minus 3. Next we have plus 2, right? That means we will move towards the, from this minus 3, what we will do? from this minus 3. So this is our minus 3 plus 2. We will move towards the right and 2 steps towards the right. That means 1 and 2. So we are stopping at minus 1. So this is how we got our answer, that minus 3 plus 2 is going to give us a minus 1. Okay, this is how you can get it. Fine. Now, subtraction of one negative and one positive integer. How to do this? Just see. So, subtract 2 from minus 4. So, of course, from 0, that means what? Minus 4 minus 2. Subtract 2 from minus 4. Okay, this 2 is our positive integer, right? And we are subtracting. So, minus 4, first we are moving left. We are coming at minus 4. And from that, minus 2, right? That means minus means what? Again, we will move towards the left hand side and 2 steps. So, 1, 2. So, we are stopping at minus 6. So, our answer is going to be minus 6. Okay? See, this is how we got it. Now, to subtract any negative integer from any other integer. For example, subtract minus 2. So, when we are subtracting, when we are doing 4 minus of minus 2, right? The previous one that I showed you, that was for 4 minus 2. I did 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2, this one. But when we will do 4 minus of, so subtraction of minus 2. Okay, when we are doing 4 minus of minus 2, then what will happen? Minus and minus is going to give us a plus, and this is going to give us 4 plus 2, right? So from 0 to 4, we are moving towards right, and then again plus 2. Therefore, again we will move towards right and 2 steps. So 1, 2 from 4. So we are stopping at this 6. So our answer is going to be 6 for 4 minus of minus 2. Okay, let's do some revision. So we have 3 minus 8. So from 0, first go to 3. So 1, 2, 3. We reached at 3. Now what will happen? Now what do we need to do? Minus of 8. So we will move towards the left and 8 steps. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. We are coming at minus 5. Okay. That means what? 3 minus 8 is going to give us what? Minus 5. This is how we got it. Now let's discuss about properties of addition of integers. So first we are coming to additive identity. What is additive identity? It means that just take any number, and if you add 0 to any number, you will always get that particular integer back, right? So to 5, even if we add 0, we will get this 5 back. That is why 0 is called as the additive identity. Okay, it can be anything, any integer. Suppose we have minus 18. To this also, if you add a 0, you will get minus 18 only. That means what? The integer is not changing at all. The integer was minus 18. Even after adding 0, it is remaining as minus 18, right? This is the reason why we call 0 as the additive identity. So 0 is the additive identity, because even if you add 0 to any integer, positive or negative, the integer does not change. The integer remains as it is. We get back the integer. Next, coming to additive inverse. So what is this additive inverse? That means that if you take any integer like minus 2 and then you simply reverse the sign. So we are writing the same thing, but instead of minus 2, we are writing plus 2. Okay, that means we are writing the opposite. So you will always get a 0, right? Similarly, see. Even if we have 10, so to find out the additive inverse, what you need to think is, if we have an integer 10, how can we get 0 from this 10? How can we get 0? Only if we write the opposite of this integer. So this is our plus 10, and if you write the opposite of plus 10, you will get a minus 10 and you will get 0, right? Therefore, here this minus 10 will be our additive inverse. Okay. So this is the property that tells us the sum of integers and its opposite is always 0. See, minus plus, minus 2 plus 2, opposites, giving us a 0. Plus 10 and then minus 10, always giving us a 0. Again, suppose we have minus 15. So how can we get 0 from minus 15? If we simply write the opposite integer, we will get a 0, right? Even in this case also 10. How can we get 0 from this 10? By adding. So if you have to add, then you just have to express it like this, by adding a minus 10. Why? Because minus and plus and minus always gives us minus, right? So this is eventually becoming 10 and minus 10, and that is giving us 0 only. So this is the additive inverse property of integers. Now, coming to the closure property of addition, very, very important. Closure property means even if you add two integers, you are getting another integer. So 5 plus 4, 9, two integers, we are getting another integer back. 4 plus of minus 9. So plus and minus is going to give us a minus, and this is going to become 4 minus 9. And if you perform 4 minus 9 on the number line, you will see your answer will be minus 5, right? Therefore, this is also an integer. So even if we are subtracting, when we see, not subtracting, here we are adding only, right? Here the subtraction has become because of the property of plus and minus. Again, minus 6 plus of minus 9, this will also become minus 6 minus 9, that is minus 15. Then again, plus 18 and then minus 9 is 9. So the sum of two integers is always an integer. Very, very, very important. You take any two integers, positive or negative, and you add them, you will always get the answer as integer only. Okay, so the sum of any two integers is always an integer. This is the closure property of addition. Next, coming to the commutative property of addition. What is commutative property? If you simply interchange the digits, that means here you have 10 plus 9. So if you write 9 at first and then 10, 9 plus 10, you will always get the same answer only, right? Here also we have minus 4 and then plus 9. Which means what? Minus 4 plus 9, if you do on the number line, you will see the answer as 5. And even if you write 9 at first and then minus 4 after that, so 9 plus of minus 4, plus and minus is going to give us a minus. This is also going to give you the same answer only. Okay, so this is the commutative property of addition of integers. Here also, here you have minus 9 plus of minus 65. Even if you interchange the order, so if you write minus 65 at first and then minus 1, you will get the same answer every time. So it is minus 65 plus of minus 1 means minus 65 minus 1, and this answer is minus 66. Okay, and even if you do minus 1 and then minus of 65, this is also going to give you minus 66 only. That means what? If you take any integer a and you are adding b to it, even if you reverse these orders, that means if you write b plus a, these answers are always going to be equal. This is called as the commutative property of addition of integers. Okay, so this is the commutative property. Now let's come to the associative property of addition of integers. So what is the associative property? Associative property means which are, so when we have three numbers, so which two numbers we are going to perform the operation at first. That means what? So we have 6, minus 2 and minus 5. See, we have three numbers, 6, minus 2 and minus 5, and we are adding them. So suppose we are adding these two at first. So it will become 6 plus of minus 2, plus minus will become minus 6 of minus 2. So we are getting 4. And then again plus and minus will become minus. So this is minus 5. So 4 minus 5, this is giving us minus 1. Right? Okay. Now, in the second part, what we will do is we have the same numbers, but we will do these two at first. That means minus 2 plus of minus 5 at first. So what will happen? This is going to give us minus 2, plus minus will become minus. So minus 2 minus 5 is going to give us minus 7. And this 6 as it is. So 6 minus 7 is again giving us minus 1. Okay. And now if we do it, all together, for example, if you just remove the brackets, so this plus minus will become minus, and here also plus minus will become minus. So you are getting the answer as 6 minus 2 minus 5. So even if you do like this, so what is 6 minus 2? 6 minus 2 is 4, and then 4 minus 5 is going to give us minus 1 only. Okay, that means what? When you have three numbers, and if you take the first two numbers, add them, and then the third number, or if you take the last two numbers, add them at first, and then you add the first number at last, and if you add them all together, all these answers are going to be equal. This is known as the associative property of addition of integers. Okay, so we can take the first two numbers, we can add them, then take the third number, add it at the last, or you can take the last two numbers, add them to that answer, you add the first number at last, or you add all the three numbers together. Always these answers are going to be equal. This is called as the associative property of addition of integers. Now these are the important points. These I have been telling you from part 1, that is plus and minus are sitting together, the answer will become minus. Minus and minus sitting together, it will become plus. And here also we have minus a will remain as minus a, and here we have minus and minus. This minus and minus is going to give us a plus and b as it is, right? So these are very important to remember for your calculation. Now let's discuss some properties of subtraction of integers. Now coming to subtraction, closure property of subtraction. If a and b are two integers, a minus b is always an integer. So if you subtract any two integers, the answer is always going to be an integer. See, 5 minus 4, 1 integer. 4 minus of minus 1. So here they have subtracted a negative number from a positive number. Then also what will happen to this? Minus minus will become plus. So 4 plus 9, it is becoming 13. Here also what will happen? Here we have minus 6 and minus minus will become plus. So minus 6 plus 9, it will give us 3. Again an integer back. Minus 18 and minus 9, it is minus 27. Again we are getting integer back. So this is known as the closure property of subtraction. That means if you take any two integers and you subtract them, the answer is always going to be an integer only. But subtraction of integers is not commutative. What was the commutative property for addition? A plus b is equal to b plus a. But this is not the same case with subtraction. This is not equal. Okay. For example, if you take two integers 4 and 2, if you do 4 minus 2, you will get the answer as 2. But if you reverse the position, that means if you write 2 at first and then 4 after that, then here you will get the answer as minus 2. 2 minus 4 is going to give you minus 2. Okay, so these two answers are not same. That means what? The subtraction of integers is not going to be commutative. And not only that, it is not associative as well. Subtraction of integers is not associative. So when we have these three integers, 4 minus 5 minus 6, and we are subtracting them, so at first let's take these two. So when we are doing 4 minus minus plus 5, right? So this is giving us 9, and then again here we have minus minus, so plus 6. 9 plus 6 is going to give us 15. Now in the second time, let's do these two at first. Okay, so you will get minus 5, minus minus will become plus, and then you are getting a 6. So 6 minus 5 is going to give us a 1, and 4 minus 1 is going to give us a 3. So these two answers are not same. And even if you do this together, so then you will get 4 minus minus, so this will become plus 5, and minus minus plus 6, so you are getting the answer as 15. That means what? These are not becoming equal, right? For the associative property for addition, I told you that even if you do these two at first, this will be equal if you do the last two at first, or if you do all of them together, right? This is true for addition, but this is not true for subtraction. That means even if you do these two at first, this is not going to be equal to, sorry, this is minus, right? 1 minute. For subtraction, yeah, minus 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 c. So even if you take these two, it's not going to be equal, not going to be equal to this as well. Okay, so subtraction of integers is not associative. Now let's try to solve a problem. What is the problem? The difference of an integer and minus 6 is minus 3. Difference means what? Subtraction. So let the integer is a, let that integer be a, and difference means what? Minus, and another integer is minus 6, and the answer is given to you. The answer is minus 3. So we need to solve it. So how can you solve it? A minus of minus 6 is minus 3. Minus and minus will become plus. So a plus 6 is equal to minus 3, right? So a will be equal to solve these equations, what happens? This one, whenever we are shifting this 6 from the left hand side to the right hand side, then the sign is going to change. So this plus 6 is going to become, this minus 3 will remain the same, and the plus 6 will become minus 6. Why? Because we are taking the plus 6 from the left hand side and we are shifting it to the right hand side. So whenever we shift it to the right hand side whenever we take any number and shift it to the other side of this equal to sign, the sign changes. So here it is plus 6, here it will become minus 6, and minus 3 and minus 6 is going to give us minus 9. Okay, minus 3 minus 6 is going to give us minus 9. Now if you ask me that, ma'am, every time will I have to do this on the number line and find out the answer? No. Suppose you have something like this. in this case, what you can do is, I am telling you a shortcut. So when both the integers are, you can see something like this, -3 and -6. We have minus sign in before these integers. What you can do is simply write minus sign before and perform the addition like this. So do 3 plus 6. Okay. Then you will get -9. So without the number line also you can solve. So negative sign in front of both the integers, you simply perform addition and put the negative sign before. And now if you have -15 plus 2, here what you will do, so minus this one, which number's value is greater. 15 value is greater, right? And it has negative sign. So answer will be negative only, and then you perform subtraction only. So you do 15 minus 2. So it will be minus of 15 minus 2, that is 13. Minus of 13. So even this is a shortcut that you can follow. Okay. So suppose we have -10 plus 5. So which value is the greater one? 10 is the greater value. That has got negative sign. So in the answer also, main answer, it will be negative sign. Then you do your subtraction, that is 10 minus 5. So you will get the answer as -5. Okay. And if we have -6 minus 2, both the numbers, they have minus in front. So do this, take this minus out and do 6 plus 2. Do subtraction, then you will get -8. Understood? Okay. Now, what is meant by absolute value? Absolute value means you have to remove the negative sign from a number considering all the numbers are positive, and we represent absolute value with the help of two vertical lines. For example, like this. So when we are saying the two vertical lines and -2 within, that means it is talking about the absolute value. And absolute value clearly means that you simply have to ignore this minus. So absolute value of -2 is 2. Is 2 only. We will take all the numbers as plus only. We simply need to remove this minus sign. Then you can find out the absolute value of any number. For example, find out the absolute value of -67. That means we need to do this, right? Absolute value of -67. Simply forget about this minus sign and write down only 67. So absolute value of -67 will be only 67. Okay. So you only need to write down the value and you need to omit that negative sign. Now sometimes you will be given problems to solve like this. Okay. Here we have positive sign only. Absolute value of 14 is 14 only, plus. Minus as it is. What is the absolute value of -14? I told you simply omit this minus sign, write only 14. So it will be only 14 and the answer will be 0. Okay. This is how you need to solve. Now 23 ka absolute value will be 23 positive, minus of -13. Absolute value of -13 is +13. We simply need to forget about this minus sign, right? So this is going to be just 13, plus as it is this plus and this minus. And then absolute value of -3 will be only 3, positive 3, right? Simply ignore this minus sign. So only positive 3. Now you solve it. So what you will get? 23 minus 13, you will get the answer as 10. And then 10 plus 3, you will get the answer as 13 only, right? This is how you can solve it. Okay. Now, let's learn about the successor and predecessor. I hope you have heard about it. What is successor? Successor means what? The next number. So, successor of 5 will be simply you do 5 plus 1, 6. Always the next number is the successor. That comes right after the number. That means one more than the number. That is called as the successor. Now, coming to the predecessor of a number. What is predecessor? The previous number. So, you simply have to do one less than the number. Suppose we have 4. Predecessor of 4 will be 4 minus 1. Simply do one less, then you will get 3. Suppose we have -2. What is the predecessor of -2? That is the number that comes before -2. Then what you will do? Predecessor means what? Predecessor means we have to do -1, right? We have to do -1. So you will get the answer as -3. So predecessor means always do -1. And successor means always you do successor means always you do +1. Okay. Now see, successor of 2 will be 3. Predecessor of 2 will be 1. Successor of 5 will be 6. And predecessor of 5 will be 4. Just the previous number, like that, right? The same thing comes for here also. Successor of -2, that means -2 plus 1. -2 plus 1 means what? -1. Predecessor of -2, predecessor is going to be -3. Why? Because -2 minus 1, you will get -3. This is how this is working. All right. So always every integer has a successor and a predecessor. You can see each and every integer has a number that is next to it, and it also has a number that is previous to it, right? So this is the successor and predecessor. Now to find out the predecessor of -11, how will you do? Predecessor means always you have to do -1, so you will get the answer as -12. So predecessor means always do -1, successor means always do +1. That's how you can get the answer. Now first find out what is this number. So what is 9 minus 2? 9 minus 2 is 7. 7 plus 4 minus 6. So what is 7 plus 4? 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 minus 6. So you will get the answer as 5. So they have asked you to find out the successor of 5. So what you will do? This is 5. Successor will be just what? 5 plus 1. So addition moving towards right. That means 6. Right? Successor will be 6, like this. Or let's try to find out the successors of each of these numbers now. Not successors. Let's try to find out the predecessors. I'm changing the question a bit. Okay. So predecessor of 9 will be 9 minus 1. That is 8. Right? You can represent it on the number line. You know how to represent numbers on the number line. Predecessor of -2 will be simply do -1. You will get -3. Predecessor of 4 will be -1, 3. Predecessor of -6 will be -6 minus 1, because to find out predecessor we simply do -1. You will get the answer as -7. Got it? This is how you can find out the successors and predecessors. Now let's try these subtractions. Okay, subtract -4 from -10. So from -10 we need to subtract -4, like this. So minus is going to give us a plus. So -10 plus 4, right? This is the operation that we need to perform. So first we need to go to, so say this is -7, -8, -9, -10. So from 0, at first we are moving left and we are coming to -10. This is our -10. Now we have to move 4 steps ahead, +4, right? So what you will do? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we are stopping at -6. So answer will be -6, right? And using the shortcut method, let's revise the shortcut method. So which number has greater value? Negative number has greater value. So in the answer also put negative, and then simply perform the subtraction, that is 10 minus 4, 6, -6. So this is how you can check your answer as well, right? Next one, subtract from -3, subtract +3, right? So +3, like this. So minus plus will become minus. That means we have to do -3 and -3. So first from 0, we need to go to -3 here, moving to the left. From here again we have to subtract -3. So moving towards the left, 1, 2, 3. So we are stopping at -6. So we are getting the answer as -3 as -6, right? Using the shortcut, what will happen? Both the numbers have minus sign in front of it. So put minus in your answer and then perform this addition. So minus of 3 plus 3, you will get the answer as 6, -6. This is how you can cross-check your answer as well. Now, addition of two positive integers, take any two positive integers, always it is going to be what? Positive only. Now, sum of two negative integers, so say -5 plus of -6, what will happen? The answer is always going to be negative only, right? Take any two negative integers, -1 plus of -2. Always plus minus is going to give us a minus, and it is always going to be negative only. So sum of two negative integers, it's always going to be negative. Let's revise these. Integer plus integer, what will happen? It's going to be an integer only. Closure property. Closure property. Integer minus integer, subtraction of integers, always you will get an integer only. Again, closure property. Dash is called as the additive identity for integer 0. Why? Because to any number, any integer, if you add 0, we get that number back. It causes no change to the number. Even -4 plus 0, always it's going to give us the same number back. The sum of an integer and its opposite is what? What is it? Always it's going to be 0. Take any integer add it with its opposite, that is -4. Plus and minus will become minus, and you will get the answer as 0 only. So the sum of an integer and its opposite is always going to be 0. Okay, so what we learned today, we learned about the subtraction of integers on number line, absolute value of integers, addition and subtraction of integer, properties of addition and subtraction, successor and predecessor of integers. Thank you so much for watching this session. If you have any doubt, write down your doubts in the comment section below so that I can help you. Make sure to like this session, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends and family so that we all can come together and learn together. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you next time with another new topic. Take care.